gang violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police, but I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, Shadow Realm? It's your boy Jenquavius Jackson, and y'all already know I'm demonetized and shadow banned in this bitch. So if you want to contribute, go to the Cash App, the PayPal, the GoFundMe, or join the Patreon. Also, don't forget to visit the merch store for all your favorite BGZM News 17 gear, including our exclusive Trump is a Blood t-shirt. Go fast before they sell out. They are already flying off the shelves, no cap. And remember, these super gremlins are on demon time.
At Detroit Police Headquarters, that this case has a lot of layers. Let's start first with the little girl we're talking about, 11-year-old Lamara Glenn. I spoke with her family earlier by phone. They say she is in extremely critical condition at an area hospital with her mother by her side.
So as you guys can see, we have an 11-year-old girl in critical condition after being shot in the head during a sliding operation, aka a drive-by shooting done by black men. Now, in the community, we all know what sliding is, but for those of you guys who are not aware, it is pretty much a drive-by shooting where someone hangs out the window with a firearm, shoots into a building, a street, a house, residential, commercial, it doesn't matter. But they will do this in an effort to, hit somebody that they are in conflict with, aka an op or the opposition. This is a very dangerous and careless tactic and maneuver when handling disagreements in the community, but it's something that is happening far too often. Now, in this case, you have an 11-year-old girl who was caught in the crossfire or could have been the intended target. A lot of times, these guys are really like that. So, and don't act like they aren't, because they'll claim to be like that. And if you say they're not like that, they'll have a beef with you. So, what we have to understand is there is a sickness, there is a disease going on in the community. And these super gremlins are on demon time.
Now, investigators worked very quickly on this case, of course. Whenever it involves a child, it really hits home here with investigators. They were able to arrest 4 men in connection to this shooting. And as you mentioned, Taryn, it goes a lot deeper.
I'm tired of reporting stories like this. We're fed up with these stories.
Same podium, different innocent child shot. 11-year-old Lamara Glenn slept on the couch at her aunt's house near Gratiot and McClellan on the city's east side Monday night. She stays there to have access to a better school. 23 bullets sprayed at the home in a drive-by style shooting, striking Lamara in the head. Now she's in extremely critical condition.
It's cowardly to bring in a child to whatever adult problems you're having with another group.
It looks like the group who fired shots was targeting someone inside the home, a house off Pennsylvania Street that was shot up late last year, too. Now, 4 people are in custody, including an 18 and 19-year-old. On its face, this case is awful, but it gets worse. The suspect's tied to a large-scale car theft ring where cars are stolen from dealerships, then used to commit crimes.
That has progressed from just stolen crimes into violent crime. Fortunately, the vehicle used in this was a stolen car taken off one of our dealerships, and now we're here today.
Commander Eric Decker with DP.
Wow. So the vehicle used was a stolen car, a stolen V. All right. Guys, this is something that we see happening all the time. And these carjackings are not punished sufficiently. Therefore, when these guys do get caught with a stolen vehicle, they're released immediately. And then they go out and do the same thing. But they're not using these cars and chopping them up, like they were back in the day. They're taking these vehicles. They're going on missions, as they call them. And anybody from the Black community, who is participating in the culture, if you will, or even just listens to music in general, rap music in general, you know what I'm talking about. They're going on missions with these stolen cars so that it can't be traced back to them. And, they're committing violent crimes on these quote unquote missions. And as a result, you have an 11-year-old girl, Lamar Glenn, who was shot and killed by these super gremlins on Demon Time.
PD's organized crime says they've been trying to foil this ring for about a month. They've struck 5 times. Bob Maxey Ford off Jefferson twice, smashing in, grabbing key fobs, and driving stolen cars through the glass garage doors. One of those stolen cars used in Lamar's shooting, another connected to a murder last Friday on the city's east side.
My hearts go out to the parents and the family members because someone lost a son, a brother. It just needs to stop.
A 17-year-old boy was shot, found dead inside of his smashed up car.
Dang.
In total, 20 vehicles have been stolen by this ring, connected to 2 shootings that police know of and possibly other crimes. There are more members that investigators are after.
When you are shooting 11-year-old little girls in their home, where they should have some degree of safety, that's a problem not only for the police department, that's a problem for our community.
We talked to Bob Maxey earlier today. He is the owner of the dealership off of Jefferson that was hit twice, suspected by this ring. He says it's really unthinkable that cars on his lot that were stolen are being used in these types of crimes. But it does look like investigators are definitely working to dismantle this crime ring. The chief said earlier today he was hoping to arrest one more man in connection to the shooting of Lamar Glenn.
Sad news to report on a developing story. CBS News Detroit has learned that the 11-year-old girl shot during a drive-by shooting on the city's east side has died.
And now 3 men have been charged in the shooting. CBS News Detroit's Gino Vici is outside police headquarters.
So thank God the police acted fast. And as you guys can see, the community has given up these baby killers, because that's what they are. This girl is 11 years old. She hasn't started her life yet. It's an 11-year-old black girl who was shot and killed, unfortunately, right? And we're going to learn later that the family has taken her off of life support, which is, man, it's just heartbreaking. But this is something that we are dealing with on a daily basis. And thank God they were able to find more suspects. But these guys, they need to be hit with the brunt of the criminal justice system and the real force and a laying down of the law. And I'm not confident that this is going to happen. I'm not confident that they're going to get the maximum penalty for this heinous crime.
With more in the investigation.
But you just can't police stupidity. And when adults decide to bring children into their confrontations and conflicts, that's just completely unacceptable.
Chief James White says 11-year-old Lamar Glenn's family sadly had to take her off life support early this morning, several days after fighting for her life. This afternoon, she lost her life. Chief White saying it's unfortunate and unnecessary, and the department will not tolerate it.
We will be relentless. If you choose to victimize our community, you hurt children, we're going to use every single tool at our disposal, every partnership that we have to get you off the street so that you can't hurt anybody else.
Lamar was shot in the head earlier this week after 23 shots were fired into a home on Pennsylvania Street.
23 shots shot into a home. I told you guys this is sliding. This is sliding, okay? And this is what is happening all over the community. It's a damn shame. It is a damn shame.
Street as she laid on the couch. A 5th person has now been arrested in connection to the drive-by shooting, and 3 of the men have already been charged. 19-year-old Takari Turner and 19-year-old Nasir Grant have been charged with the shooting. 20-year-old Robert Lee Turner has been charged as an accessory.
So guys, as you guys can see, these are the super gremlins of the hour who murdered this 11-year-old girl. The wickedness, the evil, you can see no remorse in their eyes. And I think they feel and they believe that there will be no real consequences, or consequences that they haven't already come to terms with and are willing to face.
But we are going to be relentless in pursuing those who victimize our community. Relentless. We're going to use technology. We're going to use these partnerships that you see behind me, and we're going to get these folks off the street, period. Unapologetically, we're going to lock you up.
And as far as the other two individuals in custody, Chief White saying charges against them are pending. And he also says it's very possible that even more people could be charged in the near future. In Detroit, Gino Vici, CBS News, Detroit.
What's good, Shadow Realm? It's your boy, Jenquavius Jackson, and y'all already know I'm demonetized and shadow banned in this. So if you want to contribute, go to the Cash App, the PayPal, the GoFundMe, or join the Patreon. Also, don't forget to visit the merch store for all your favorite BGZM News 17 gear, including our exclusive Trump is a Blood t-shirt. Go fast before they sell out. They are already flying off the shelves, no cap. And remember, these super gremlins are on demon time.
Yo, what's good, BGZM News 17 family? I'm at the corner of Jesse Jackson and Marcus Garvey, and I got some bad news for you. As you can see, I lost my job. I'm out here living in cardboard boxes outside of boarded up vacant homes. YouTube said I'm done getting money out here in these streets. They even took my funky ass suit. So anything right now would help. So go ahead and hit that Cash App, hit that PayPal, hit that GoFundMe. Hell, cop the merch. Or if you want to make the long-term commitment to the Jenquavius Jackson Fund, join the Patreon so that I can continue to put out top-notch content each and every day. Also, check out the Rumble, where there is absolutely no censorship. Link in the description box below.
Hey, yo, ain't that nigga Jenquavius? Yo, I recognize.
No, that's not me no more.
Hey, yo, run your pocket.
Y'all tell me what they say.
Do the opposite of Antonio Brown and take
What
all your
more do you want from me?
What's good, Shadow Realm? It's a Black Gen Z mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe. Let's get into the video. All right, guys, we have, man, another doozy to talk about. Okay, another one. All right, I feel like DJ Khaled reporting on these stories, but it's not so funny this time. Okay, as you guys can see with the thumbnail, we're going to be talking about Alasia Franklin or Alasia. I don't know how she pronounced it, but this woman was murdered by an ex-boyfriend who lived 4 hours away on the campus of Kennesaw State University, which I know a lot about. Obviously, I am from Georgia, and Kennesaw State was not that far from where I lived in Buckhead. So it gets very dangerous on these cities that are bordering Atlanta. And this guy, I mean, he didn't even come from Atlanta, but it just shows the brazenness that a lot of these super gremlins are willing to follow through with, right? Because, you know, they're really crashing out, man. They don't care if they get caught anymore. That's what's really happening. That's what we're seeing on the streets. That's the transformation that we've seen within the past few years. And I don't even have to tell you guys, because you guys already know. That's why you're here. But for the newcomers who are not aware, the community is in dire straits right now. We are in a position where, you know, it's do or die. Literally, it's do or die. Either the community wakes up in 2024 and we start moving forward as a collective, first taking group accountability, first taking group acknowledgement, or it's over for the community. Plain and simple. There's pretty much no other way to describe it. There's no other way to explain it. Either the community gets its ish together, or we're doomed. And this story is not helping it. This is another instance of domestic violence coming out of the Black community. And we know that Black women are 6 times more likely to experience domestic violence and 4 times more likely to be murdered by their partners than any other race or demographic. So those are scary statistics, and the data is jarring. But are we going to really talk about why this is? What's going on in the community? The mindset of these young ninjas, these guys who are crash out artists, as I like to call them. I guess we're going to get into it in this live stream. So buckle up, guys. This is a very sad story, but it needs to be spoken about.
Well, new developments in a story we brought you as breaking news on Channel 2 Action News at 6. We now know the shooting on Kennesaw State University's campus this afternoon was deadly. Let's get straight to Channel 2's Courtney Francisco on Campus Loop Road, where police are still gathering evidence tonight. Courtney.
Candace, campus police still out here going on nearly 7 hours now. Let me give you a closer look at the blue lights there. KSU said a student was shot. We do not know her name at this hour, but KSU says police have arrested her suspected killer.
Deadly gunfire on Kennesaw State University campus, feet from where students like Robert Bounds were studying.
All I heard was bah, 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 like 7 or 8 times. And then 5 minutes later, I get a report from the campus saying there was an armed intruder on campus.
The alert posted in red on KSU's website warned students to stay put, lock doors and windows at 4:07 Saturday afternoon.
This was really early and still during the time that classes could be going on.
And just for context, guys, I mean, KSU is not this is not an HBCU. This is not a campus that is used to this type of violence. If any, the violence is usually regulated toward outside of campus, dealing with the local ninjas. You know, there have been some stories that came out about local ninjas robbing people who attended Kennesaw State and you know, things of that nature, but it was never you know, somebody coming on campus and completely crashing out right then and there in front of everybody with no regard and reckless abandon. We don't really hear about these stories developing in that way. But now in 2024, I feel like another portal of crime. Seriously, I think that another portal of crime was opened, and not some mythological, metaphysical, supernatural portal. I think a very black and white, legalese, prosecutorial portal, if you will, that was opened up, or the lack thereof of prosecution. And I think that has really caused the explosion in crime, even though the media and the news are trying to tell us that crime is down and you know, don't believe your lying eyes. Crime has never been as low as it has been under the Biden administration, all this kind of stuff. And that's the lie that they're trying to feed us. And under Democrat rule, that's what your local Democratic politicians are trying to feed you. And it's just not digesting right. It's not sitting right with anybody. We're seeing the crime right in front of our faces. We're feeling the ramifications. We're feeling the backlash. We're feeling the effects. Our cars are getting broken into, and people are getting you know, stuck up or whatnot. And we're tired of it.
Emergency management said it was safe to come out at 4:43. Police kept Campus Loop Road closed behind the Austin resident complex for hours, while Georgia Bureau of Investigation helped gather evidence. By 8 o'clock, KSU confirmed a student was killed and police arrested her suspected shooter.
The terrible thing is anybody could have been shot there because it's a bus stop. It's where we go to sit. It's where we wait for a bus to come pick us up.
Yeah.
And we are still waiting on police to release the name of the suspected shooter. Reporting live in Kennesaw, Courtney Francisco, WSB Tonight.
Yeah, and a lot of questions about the circumstances around this. Courtney, thank you so much.
Woo! So there you have it. We're really getting a peek into what is really going on here. But I just want to break down the psychological aspect of why this is happening, why the super gremlins feel so emboldened. And in this case, I think this was a case of crashing out over your girl because she's gone off to college. I really do. You know, y'all know what it is. Your girl leaves off to college. She was getting good grades in high school. You weren't. You can't qualify for any scholarships. You ain't going nowhere. You staying your ass at home and working at the poultry or, you know, the caterpillar factory. And you upset every single day you going to work. You don't know where your girl at. She ain't answering the phone. She got classes. She's studying to be a nurse or whatever. And you just you feel like you got left behind. You feel like she doesn't love you anymore. You feel like that your world is over. This is how these young ninjas are thinking because they have that scarcity mindset. And he thought this was in game for him. He really did. He thought that this woman was in game. He thought that they were going to spend the rest of their lives together. And what a lot of guys just aren't understanding is, hey, when women go off to college, they want to live their lives, bro. They want to live their lives. They don't want to be told what to do. They don't want to, you know, be held back, right? So you have to stomach that and you have to say, hey, let me just move on because this woman is obviously doing something, you know, for herself. And it could even be something greater than what I can do right now. At the moment, that doesn't mean that you're not going to do anything for the rest of your life. But right now, you have to let it go. You got to drop it, man. You got to drop it like a bad habit because if you don't, it's going to eat you alive. And that's exactly what I believe happened in this case. Okay. It ate him alive. The separation, the phone calls starting to not be returned as quickly as they used to be when y'all both was on campus, high school campus, and y'all didn't really have as many responsibilities. But now that she has gone up and you're stuck in your hometown, it's a problem and you feel in some type of way. And you and to you, and I'm not saying this is how I feel personally, but I'm just getting into the mindset of this super gremlin on demon time. To you, it's like, shit, man, ain't nobody finna get up on my bitch when she on campus and shit like that. Like, hey, man, if she ain't answering the phone, I'm finna pull up and blast her ass. I'm finna blow her spot up. That's the mindset. And that's the mindset of a lot of brothers in the community because to us, game is sold in the way that, you know, let me put it like this. To have game in the community, you almost damn near have to act like a pimp, right? To be able to attract the women that you desire in the community, you have to be thug max. I've spoken on this before. So he took that thug max to the next level and unfortunately did the unthinkable and deleted his ex-girlfriend.
Hearing from the father of the student shot and killed at Kennesaw State University over the weekend. The family identified the victim as rising junior Alasia Franklin. She was killed right in front of student housing. Christy Diaz is live at KSU this morning with what we know, and Christy's certainly thinking about the family and the entire KSU community.
Absolutely this morning, Cheryl. Good morning. I am standing right outside the south entrance to campus off of Chastain Road. Alasia was killed at the Austin Residence Complex, about a 5-minute walk from here, only 2 minutes if you drive. That's where students who were inside those apartments say they heard the shots and then later found Alasia's body. This happened right in the middle of the afternoon, 4 p.m. It wasn't even beginning to get dark yet. Students in the dorm say they heard 8 to 10 shots. Less than an hour later, police identified the shooter as Samuel Harris, not a student with KSU. He is now in custody, charged with several charges, including murder. Alasia's father described him as an ex-boyfriend, says he even met him once and never thought he'd be facing this.
I feel like my heart has been ripped out of my chest. I never could imagine from what I took from the young man, him being capable of doing something like this.
Alasia was a rising junior studying to be a nurse practitioner. The university is offering counseling all week long. It starts today. It goes from 8 in the morning until 5 o'clock in the afternoon, if you're interested. Outside KSU, I'm Christy Diaz, 11 Alive News.
Christy, thank you so much. And if you'd like to read more about what happened there on campus, more about Alasia's life, just look for this story on 11alive.com. You'll find it on the homepage.
Yeah, and it's looking like every college that remotely touches Atlanta is going to be hot. Georgia State, Morehouse, Spelman College. We got Georgia Tech, people getting robbed on Georgia Tech's campus. KSU. Hell, even the University of Georgia, we had the Lake and Raleigh situation. So anything within that 100-mile radius, it's looking rough. And I think people are really reconsidering sending their kids to college for safety purposes and then, educational as well. The colleges are not protecting the students anymore, and then the education is lacking. So a lot of institutions are crumbling down because of, sheer incompetence, in my opinion. Now, this story, it probably couldn't have been prevented. Unless this guy had extra, or prior charges in his hometown. But from what I'm reading into this story, it looks like this guy, I think they're saying he came from Cairo, Georgia, if I'm not mistaken. I think he came from Cairo, Georgia. And that's more like South Georgia, very South Georgia. It's like right on the edge of Georgia and Florida's state line. So, I mean, it's tough. It's tough. But let's get to the next news clip.
Developing tonight. Loved ones are sharing more.
Guys, make sure you hit that Cash App, that PayPal, that Super Trap. We just had my guy Doug donate $3. He says it appears that young simps are far more violent and dangerous than old simps.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hello? Where we at? Oh, you want to know where I'm at? We outside!
I appreciate that PayPal, Doug. Yeah, it really is looking like that. Although we do have stories on this channel where old simps are crashing out. So at this point, it's a 50-50 toss up, and that is sad.
And developing tonight. Loved ones are sharing more information about the Kennesaw State University student murdered on campus over the weekend. Channel 2's Courtney Francisco has been following the case since it happened, and you're live now on Campus Loop Road. Courtney, you spoke to family and those who tried to save the student.
Yes, Candace, her name was Alasia Franklin, shot and killed here with classrooms on one side and student housing on the other. Those who saw Alasia Franklin's last moment alive on her college campus expressed fear and heartbreak.
I see your body laying down and I get on the phone with the police. So, that was my first instinct.
Anthony Harrison told me he ran to help after hearing the gunshots outside his apartment in the Austin residence complex Saturday around 4. By Sunday evening, Kennesaw State University confirmed it was Franklin.
And understand, a lot of these same college students 4 years ago were marching alongside others, forwarding the cause of George Floyd, defund the police, and all that foolishness. And now what's happening is, what these people asked for, the criminal justice reform, the defund the police movement, all these things are coming into play. And now there is an emboldenedness in these super gremlins because they feel like they're going to get a slap on the wrist charge. They're not really going to get in that much trouble. And then you see other stories being reported throughout the country. And I think that just, it's making people a lot more crazy. And then obviously the people who were going to commit heinous crimes like this are just going to be even more emboldened and follow through more often. So we got a lot of things cooking up in the community, and I mean, quite frankly, there's not much that is good coming out of the community right now in 2024.
She was someone like that I knew.
He said he served on the Student Government Association with her.
She's decorated. I mean, she was a founder of the IHS club, one of the founders, and on top of that, she was a part of the NCNW organization here on campus. She was on homecoming court.
A former roommate told me Franklin was 21, slated to graduate early in December, then become a nurse practitioner.
I am so proud to be able to say that I knew somebody like her. She was just a very big part of my life, and I will never forget the mark that she made on me. It was a blessing to even get to know her.
She said Franklin was from Cairo, and jail records show so was her suspected shooter, Samuel Harris. GBI says one of their agents arrested him minutes after the shooting Saturday near this Marietta apartment complex on Bentley Road.
Her brothers and her sisters and her parents, she talked about them all the time, and they were all really close.
Back on campus, Harrison says KSU will fill the loss and asked we share this message with her family.
I can't express how much I feel sorry that you guys lost her. And I mean, I wish I could have done more to help.
Yeah, such a beautiful and bright future ahead for that victim. Courtney, the suspect is currently jailed with no bond.
That's right, Candace. And the next step would be a bond hearing in the Cobb County Courthouse. I spoke to 2 of Franklin's family members tonight, and I expect to hear from them later this week. Reporting live in Kennesaw, Courtney Francisco, WSB Tonight.
Woo! How's that for a story, man? I mean, where are all the blackity blacks? Where are the Pan-African movement? Where are the Go Black to Africa people? What's going on? What is going on? Okay, we need some answers because this should not be able to stand. This should not go without, exposure, right? But we see time and time again, these stories are being brushed over. They're not being covered in the community. Nobody is talking about them. Nobody is speaking up and say, hey, man, we got a lot of brothers who are crashing out on our women. Right? I feel like I'm the only one speaking up for the sisters. And I mean, y'all know what I'm on. Like I really am rocking with the snow bunnies, but I feel like I'm the only one speaking up. None of the pro-blacks. You don't see Dr. Umar covering these stories, and these stories just kind of fade in the wind. And it just becomes another number and another mark on the negative statistics coming out of the community. That's just the reality. So, like I said, what do we do about this? Well, group accountability for one, group acknowledgement for two, and then we obviously refrain from large gatherings. This wasn't a large gathering situation, but we got to start pushing harder for accountability for the bad apples in the community, because we know a rotten apple spoiled a bunch, and it's feeling like the bunch is being spoiled, and that rottenness is seeping out and metastasizing into so many different other facets of the community, and I mean, it's infected our highest institutions where we're in power. So definitely an issue that needs immediate attention that's not really getting that attention right now. Shout out to Caesar D in the comment section. He says criminal justice reform only benefits criminals.
Hold on. Hello? Where we at? Oh, you want to know where I'm at? We outside!
The shooting on campus. Kennesaw State University officials have identified the student killed in a shooting on campus yesterday as Alasia Franklin. They've also identified the shooter as 21-year-old Samuel Harris. Fox 5's Eric Mock is live from where this shooting happened in the Austin residence complex on campus. Eric, you spoke to one student who witnessed the horrific shooting and the aftermath.
That's right, Tyler. You know, that student, Anthony, he heard the gunshots and then he ran down here to see what had happened. Now, he actually knew the victim, Franklin, and says her untimely death is a tremendous loss to the KSU community. Kennesaw State University senior Anthony Harrison says he was woken up from a Saturday nap by a string of gunfire.
All I can remember is just walking up and being completely horrified of what that scene was.
Police say a student was shot and killed during a dispute here outside the Austin residence complex. Officers identified the suspect as 21-year-old Samuel Harris. He fled the shooting but was arrested by Cobb County Police.
So 21-year-old Samuel Harris, and the backstory is even weirder, scarier, if you will. So let's keep going.
Police officers about 12 miles away. The university identified the student victim Sunday as 21-year-old Alasia Franklin. Harrison knew Franklin well, but because of the extent of her injuries, he didn't recognize her when he came upon her body and called police.
I couldn't even recognize the way she looked. I couldn't recognize the way she looked, man. I stood right over her as I was on the phone. Oh, like that's something that's gonna be with me for a long time, man.
Harrison served as vice president of KSU's Student Government Association and says Franklin served in the association with him.
I mean, she had a bright and amazing personality.
She was also a member of the campus's section of the National Council of Negro Women and founded the school's Integrated Health Science Club.
Woo! So she helped found the National Council of Negro Women. Lord have mercy. So this woman was very much a black activist. Very much a black activist. Okay, so I guess she was a part of this, maybe in a leadership position. So let's go to the National I forgot the National Council of Negro Women website. All right. So as you can see, they've got programs, economic empowerment and entrepreneurship, social justice, health equity, STEAM and education, Bethune Height, change maker pathways. This site is very woke. As you can see, there's a clip of protesters, and then this one says Black Youth Vote. They got some events, national events, it appears, up north. But is this program really doing what it needs to do to touch Black children, right? In a positive way. Because a lot of times these programs just end up being victim mentality machines. And, you know, you start to get the Black supremacist talking points from this, you know, programs like these, which it is what it is. That is what we've come to accept in our society. It's okay for everybody to have pride in their culture, except white people. And they have a lot of grant money open for programs like this, even if the funds are mismanaged, even if, and I'm not saying this, you know, program mismanaged their funds, but I'm just saying in general, even if the program doesn't work, the funds are mismanaged, like we saw with BLM, all these things happen. The programs still continue to get federal grant money. So just something to be aware of. It's very interesting that she was a part of these programs. And at the end of the day, she was killed by the same men that she's trying to advocate for, right? With the criminal justice reform and the website and the, you know, equity and prosecution and whatnot. That's what they're going for, but you can't manufacture equity. It has to be fair, and fair is whoever smelt it, dealt it. Whoever does the crime, does the time. And if there's a disproportionate amount of one particular group doing a certain crime, then we need to acknowledge that, try and fix the issues, but you can't stop the legal system from doing what it needs to do to keep citizens safe. And that's my biggest issue with a lot of these programs.
She was super involved on campus, and I know that everybody that knew her knew that she was just such a positive and outgoing person, very passionate and driven all around. It just hurts to see her in the state that she was in. I mean, it's just a lot.
Harrison says her killing on campus should serve as a wake-up call to university leaders.
I think that this is a very, very, very strong indication that campus security needs to be increased. We need more cameras. We need to have security gates around student housing.
So now he wants gates around student housing. Doesn't that sound like he wants to build a wall? Very interesting. Very interesting. And I mean, he's right. Kennesaw State is a very open campus. Student housing is very open. There's not many campuses, college campuses and universities around the world, or not the world, but around the United States that fences in their student housing. There might be a, you know, verification process you have to do to get access after already being inside, but fencing in the building or fencing in the campus, it really, I mean, I don't think they really can do that because it's a state funded university. So all their funding comes from the state, which means it's a public good. So pretty much anybody can technically go on campus and use the facilities on campus, you know, within whatever rules and bounds that they have on the campus. So I don't think his ask or his wish is realistic, but it's just interesting when things are happening in your backyard. Now a wall, now a big great wall is something that you are pining for because somebody got shot in your area, in your hometown, in your campus. But when it comes to our country, oh no, you know, open borders are fine because, you know, you're racist if you support a wall. Interesting.
We reached out to KSU officials to ask about whether they are, you know, at least considering increasing safety measures on campus. We haven't heard back from them yet. Meanwhile, Harris has been charged with murder, aggravated assault, and possession of a firearm during a crime. For now, reporting in Cobb County, Eric Mock, Fox 5 News.
Eric, thank you for the update. We'll see you at 11.
Woo. Hey man, black women are taking it to the chin out here. And the worst part is they're unsuspecting. Like they just aren't getting it. I genuinely believe that. Like, even with all the ninjas ain't ish rhetoric and this, that, and the third, and I think that they still are not understanding which type of guys are willing to crash out. They are not able to identify the personality type. And in many cases, the personality type is potentially attractive to them. Just saying. So this one's heating up, guys. Let's get more into this story.
State University today. That's where police say a gunman killed 21-year-old nursing student Alasia Franklin over the weekend. Let's go to Fox 5's Rob Arienzo, who's live at the campus there tonight, alongside a growing memorial in Franklin's memory. Rob.
Hey, that's right, Christine. Good afternoon to you. Well, the students I'm speaking with are still having trouble wrapping their minds around what exactly happened just feet from where I'm standing this past weekend. At this point, they say they want two things: resources and justice.
She was a queen with a memorable smile.
So much heartbreak in Kennesaw State University's community.
She was a blessing.
As word spreads that the student murdered on campus Saturday was 21-year-old nursing student Alasia Franklin.
And I was like, is that her? And then so I was in very doubt for a long time, but you know her smile. Her smile is beautiful. I never seen her with a frown.
Police have arrested 21-year-old Samuel Harris, who they say shot Franklin before fleeing campus Saturday afternoon. The GBI arrested him 12 miles from the scene.
To the person that, that did this, I don't feel like prison is enough, to be honest.
Investigators.
Man, I mean, honestly, don't y'all think it's so interesting? For one, we know every single one of these students are woke as a mug. Woke as a mug. But when it comes to their backyard, he said prison wasn't enough. So what type of draconian punishment is he proposing? Shout out to Johnny Reb with the $5 Rumble rant. He says, did you see this mess? Amazon Sun trainee goes full Boondock Sunward at work, missed and gets deleted. Lord have mercy. Yeah, I definitely got to check that out.
Hold on. Hello? Where we at? Oh, you want to know where I'm at? We outside!
Thanks for the Rumble rant, Johnny Rebel. Yeah, I just saw that, so I'll definitely be looking into that story. It sounds insane. But like I was saying, a lot of these guys are woke. A lot of these people who are mourning her death are woke. And then the punishment that they're calling for does not fit their ideology. In their minds, with the woke logic, not saying this is what they actually said, but with the woke logic, everybody deserves a second chance. This guy, he deserves a second chance. And, he was suffering hard economic hardships and all this kind of stuff. And it's just like, no, this guy is just bad news. He's not a good dude. And until we stop defending this type of behavior, until we stop defending these types of super gremlins on demon time, we're going to continue to get the same results. Shout out to Caesar D. He says, cameras don't stop crime. Locking criminals up does. People shouldn't have to live in a fishbowl. Yeah, I absolutely agree. Shout out to Caesar D for the $3 PayPal.
Hold on. Hello? Where we at? Oh, you want to know where I'm at? We outside!
say Harris took Franklin's life during a fight. They haven't confirmed their connection, but both are from the town of Cairo in South Georgia. Back on campus, Franklin's classmates say her death cannot be in vain. They want to see change.
Our main focus right now is more resources for domestic violence on campus. It's not really something that's talked about too much, and resources aren't that publicized.
Friends say Franklin.
So they want resources. They're collecting tithes and offerings off of this woman's death. He couldn't just say we need a higher police presence on campus. We need to make sure that we're supporting our officers so that they might be able to stop this before it is actually occurring. And the community needs to come together and fully cooperate if they see or hear anything out of the norm that they see on campus. He couldn't just say that. He said, oh, well, we need resources and just give me some money, nigga. That's really what it comes down to. Just give me a check. Give us a check. Everybody just needs a check. Every woman on campus needs a check because she potentially could be suffering from domestic violence. I mean, that's just what it sounds like to me. A check's not going to fix this. Check's not going to fix this, bro.
Was a member of the KSU Student Government Association. She served on the National Council of Negro Women's Campus Chapter and founded the university's Health Science Club. But what they'll remember most is her infectious smile.
We cannot just sweep it on the rug and think it didn't happen. We need to honor her to let people know that domestic violence exists.
And back out here live, take a look at this. You can just see that memorial has grown just in these last few hours. There's photos, balloons, and flowers. Now, Sunday night, a judge denied bond for Harris as the campus copes. Meanwhile, the KSU administration has offered in-person and phone counseling for anybody who needs it through such a heartbreaking time. That's the latest from here live on KSU's campus. Rob DiRienzo, Fox 5 News.
Such heartbreak. Rob, thanks so much for the latest on that.
Woo! So now let's get into the suspect more, learn more about him, what caused him to crash out, the psychology behind the super gremlin low impulse control crash out. It's very important to talk about, and it's very important to acknowledge, and it's very important to understand. It could save your damn life.
More about what led up to a shooting that killed a Kennesaw State University student yesterday. Both the family and university have identified that student as 21-year-old Alasia Franklin. Atlanta News First, Bridget Spencer is live from the campus tonight. Bridget, you spoke with those who knew her.
That's right. Those close to Alasia say she was kind, loving, and she cared for other people dearly. Now, police say there was some sort of argument that happened out here the day that she was killed. And they say shots were fired at some point right outside of this housing complex. Terrible scene for a lot of students to see. The Kennesaw State University community, family, and friends are remembering a life cut way too short.
She was just such an important figure within this university. We can't let this go.
Police say 21-year-old Alasia Franklin was shot and killed in front of the Austin residence complex on campus Saturday afternoon. The suspect, a man named Samuel Harris from Cairo, Georgia, whom KSU officials say is not a student.
He just came in on campus and just did something so senseless, man. It's just insane.
Yeah. You know, I'm surprised that these guys are surprised, you know, because this is a very real and reoccurring theme in the community. It really is. And there's not many people who are talking about it.
The shooting happened right outside Anthony Harrison's window.
I was just laying down, taking a nap, and then out of nowhere, I heard like 7 or 8 shots go off. All I could remember is just like walking up and just seeing her body lay there lifeless.
Franklin was heavily involved in activities such as student government and had plans to become a nurse practitioner.
She was very, very determined. Like her purpose was to speak up for people who are afraid to speak up for themselves.
Samuel Harris sits in the Cobb County Jail and faces charges, including murder.
We need to advocate for her and make sure that she gets the true justice that she deserves, because nobody ever deserves to go out the way that she did.
Now, we have been in touch with family. They are not quite ready to speak. As you can imagine, they are really distraught right now. Now, Kennesaw State University, they say counseling services and resources will certainly be available to all people affected by this terrible tragedy on campus. We're live in Cobb County tonight. Bridget Spencer, Atlanta News First.
We know that's a tough loss for parents and for students at KSU. Bridget, thank you.
Oh, man. So let's keep going. Let's keep going. The show must go on. We want to get every little detail.
Our friends and classmates of a murdered Kennesaw State University student are trying to make sense of her on-campus death over the weekend. Atlanta News First reporter Rebecca Schramm is live at KSU. And Rebecca, you are learning new information about the suspect that's new.
That's right, Brooks. I have been looking through his arrest record and his warrant, also jail records. And I can tell you that happened here at the Austin Residence Complex here on KSU's campus. The suspect was not a student. I'm working to confirm reports that he and the victim had at one point been in a relationship.
Damn. So this guy had a lengthy arrest record. Lengthy. Okay. I mean, this guy was bad news. So why would a college educated, strong, independent sister be dealing with this guy who has charges out the wazoo? Let's keep it a buck. He had charges out the ass. And this was coming out of high school. He said he had charges. A lengthy rap sheet already? How? You just graduated high school, didn't you? High school sweethearts or something. But he's already got a lengthy rap sheet. And she was dealing with the man at the time. I don't know if, they probably broke up recently and he just decided to crash out. But it's what I talk about when, we got a lot of sisters dealing with these Thug Max Alpha Simp super gremlins on demon time.
It's just insane.
Anthony Harrison first met Alasia Franklin last year when he interviewed her for the Student Government Association. She ended up being a senator representing her class and being selected to the homecoming court.
She just has such a bright future. And I mean, since joining our organization, she did nothing but work hard. I mean, there was never a dull moment when I saw her. She always greeted me with a smile, and we had very kind and polite conversations.
Her life ended right outside the window of his on-campus apartment.
I was just laying down, taking a nap, and then out of nowhere, I heard like 7 or 8 shots go off.
Police say this man, Samuel Harris of Cairo in South Georgia, pulled the trigger. Jail records show police later arrested him at an apartment complex not far from Delk Road. The arrest warrant shows he's charged with aggravated assault, murder, and possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony. Though most students are out for the summer, Anthony Harris is hoping to help organize a vigil to honor Alasia Franklin's life.
She was just such an important figure within this university. We can't let this go.
Now, according to her social media pages, Alasia is also or was also from Cairo there in South Georgia. Even though Kennesaw State is in its summer session right now and there aren't a whole lot of students on campus, the university is providing counseling to anyone who needs it. Live in Kennesaw, Rebecca Schramm, Atlanta News First.
Yeah. It's like that. It's like that, y'all. The community is not playing. They ain't playing.
South Georgia man is in jail accused of shooting to death a Kennesaw State University student on campus over the weekend.
Atlanta News First reporter Rebecca Schramm is live at the Cobb County Jail. Rebecca, you're learning new information about the alleged killer.
I am, Megan and Brooks. I'm about to show you his mugshot. We have learned that he is from Cairo, Georgia. He was arrested at an apartment complex not far from Delk Road, and KSU says he is not a student there. We'll take a look. This is the victim. First of all, 21-year-old Alasia Franklin. We've learned from fellow students that she was well liked. She was heavily involved in student government and was chosen to be on the homecoming court. According to Kennesaw State University police, she was shot and killed Saturday afternoon in front of the Austin residence complex on campus after an argument. And here is a look at the suspect, Samuel Harris. He faces murder and other charges. The shooting happened right outside Anthony Harrison's window. Harrison serves in the Student Government Association and says he was friends with the victim.
I was just laying down, taking a nap, and then out of nowhere, I heard like 7 or 8 shots go off. And all I could remember is just like walking up and just seeing her body lay there lifeless. We need to advocate for her and make sure that she gets the true justice that she deserves, because nobody ever deserves to go out the way that she did.
KSU is in its summer session right now. Still, the university is providing counseling to any students who need it. We checked with the jail and magistrate court. The defendant, the suspect, had his court appearance last night, his first appearance, and that was to make sure that he understands the charges against him. We will let you know once authorities confirm a motive. Live at the Cobb County Jail, Rebecca Schramm, Atlanta News First.
All right. Let's keep going. It looks like this murder has caused uproar within the student body. They're asking for more campus safety. So, let's see if that amounts to anything. But really, it's the family who were the most affected. Not that light-skinned nigga they keep showing the interview of, which, I mean, although I guess he was first to respond to the shooting, but, it's like everybody's interviewing this guy, and I'm not saying he's milking the situation. I'm sure he's genuine, but it's just interesting. Let's listen to the family.
New tonight at 11, we're learning more about the student who was shot and killed at Kennesaw State University this weekend. Police confirm with 11 Alive, the rising junior Alasia Franklin was killed after a dispute on campus. Her father is speaking with 11 Alive's Teresa Bowles for the first time from Cairo, Georgia. And we're also hearing from a student who actually found Alasia on the ground. So, Teresa, what do we know about what happened to her?
Well, Ron, I am standing in front of the Austin complex right now near Campus Loop Road. And it was right here where witnesses tell me they found Alasia's lifeless body, leaving this campus with many questions. However, the only question her father has is why. Kennesaw State University students are at a loss.
We were all just sitting there like in the dorm, just like watching a movie, and then we heard like these shots go off.
Senior St. William says he heard 8 to 10 pops and didn't believe it until he walked outside of the Austin resident complex to see what was going on and ran into who KSU police have now confirmed as the shooter, Samuel Harris.
We saw him get in his car, like packing stuff up, and then he drove off.
Police tell us that his target was 21-year-old Alasia Franklin.
She was just laying there,
clinging to the life her family was so used to seeing.
She was full of life, full of laughter. She never gave her mother a day of grief.
That was until now. Grief struck a South Georgia family and an entire campus when Alyssa was pronounced dead Saturday. It's a loss her father, Bobby Franklin, cannot come to terms with.
I'm lost for words. I feel like my heart has been ripped out of my chest.
Bobby says his firstborn child was about to start her 3rd year at KSU. She was studying to be a nurse practitioner. Her alleged killer, Harris, cut her plans short and as a result has been arrested for murder. But Williams, who's now traumatized, says violence like this makes him question what's being done to protect other college students.
If something like that's just happening in broad daylight, no, I don't think anyone should feel safe on campus. We need to protect our women, our Black women.
Bobby says he met.
So you heard that. He says we need to protect our women, our Black women. But we know that's more of just filler. It's a saying that has no meaning or purpose in the community because We don't give it purpose. We don't give it power. It's just something that we say, but in action is not acted out. That's why we have so many domestic violence situations. That's why the culture backs and supports, murderers like this guy, right? They really do. People are, there's going to be people who are going to say, oh, this is a real ninja. He wasn't playing about her. I'm telling you guys, there's going to be hood ninjas praising this behavior. And the community overwhelmingly backs and supports it, uplifts it with the ideology and supporting the leftist Democrat agenda. It's a shame.
No, I don't think anyone should feel safe on campus. We need to protect our women, our Black women.
Bobby says he met Harris and describes him as an ex-boyfriend who wouldn't let Alasia go.
I never could imagine him being capable of doing something like this.
He hopes his daughter's story will encourage all parents to be more involved so they're not thrown for a loss when what he believes was domestic violence shows up in a horrifying way.
We all need to stop and make time and communicate with our children to make sure that they're safe.
A spokesperson for KSU police tells us that Harris was not a student, and he also faces aggravated assault and possession of a firearm charges. Live in Kennesaw, Teresa Bowles, 11 Alive News.
Yeah, Teresa, I can't imagine what that dad is going through right now. Our hopes and prayers are with that family. By the way, Kennesaw State University is providing counseling tomorrow through Friday from 8 in the morning until 5 in the afternoon.
All right. We only got a few more to go. We heard from the father. Let's keep going. Y'all heard what Pop said. He had no idea that bro was capable of such things. And our father's doing due diligence on, and this is no shade or no disrespect to the father. Obviously, sorry for your loss and condolences to the family, but our father's doing due diligence on the people that their daughters are deciding to date. I mean, y'all couldn't just do a simple Pacer search and see all the charges bruh had. Then you would probably know that, okay, this guy is capable of doing something even more heinous, right? I mean, I'm just shocked that Pops, a real street ninja, presumably did not see anything. He didn't see any signs that this potentially could occur.
And on that campus tonight, friends and classmates, they are remembering Alasia, the Kennesaw State student that you just learned about. She was killed on campus Saturday afternoon.
Cobb County Police arrested Samuel Harris a short time later off campus and booked him into the Cobb County Jail. He now faces multiple charges, including murder. 11 Live's Karis Belger is at KSU's campus right now. Karis, what are you hearing from people there?
Well, right now, there are only a few students on campus as summer courses are underway, but I did speak with quite a few people who have different perspectives on what happened. Those who were close to Alasia Franklin say they want the school to remember her, and the rest who are on campus are curious about how the school will keep them safe.
She deserved it. She was an amazing classmate.
Balloons and pictures of Alasia Franklin make up a small memorial not far from where the 21-year-old Kennesaw State student died.
Sometimes I come to class earlier and I interact with her, and also to be able to have the opportunity.
So you see the hoodie says defend Black women. A message from God is dope. I personally don't know what that is supposed to mean, but obviously it's just hard to, and I know, this guy personally, he probably isn't going out here, hopefully, supporting, the things that lead up to these types of actions, like the degeneracy in the community, just the overall culture, the bang, bang, shoot 'em up culture. But in many different ways, we all have participated and supported this culture. And like I said, that's why we have to take group accountability. This is why we have to have group acknowledgement so that we can move forward. Just saying defend Black women and putting it on a hoodie doesn't do anything. And a lot of times these guys are just wearing these hoodies to get into Black women's panties. Like, let's keep it a buck, right? A lot of the main guys who say, oh, defend Black women, and oh, if you mess with the women in my life, I'm gonna do this and that and the third to you. These are the main ones who are beating the shit out of their women. Look at Diddy, for instance. Oh, brother love. Oh, I would never hurt a woman, and women should be cherished and all this kind of stuff. And then you see him beating the crap out of his woman because what? She doesn't want to participate in an orgy. This is where we're at in the community.
To just speak for her.
Jonathan Lakes and Michael Lewis assembled the mementos to honor a life they say brought light to so many.
Such an amazing human being and an amazing spirit to be around.
Lewis says they met in class when their professor assigned them to work on a group project, and he says they became extremely close shortly afterward. Both men say her reputation for being kind made her death such a shock.
I was on Instagram and I got the alerts on my phone from KSU and stuff like that.
According to the university, Franklin was shot and killed after a dispute in front of the Austin residence complex Saturday afternoon. Police arrested Samuel Harris a short time later off campus. He was taken to the Cobb County Jail, charged with murder, aggravated assault, and possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime. Harris is not a KSU student. The campus today was sparsely populated, with only a few students present for summer courses. They tell me they still feel safe, but they're more aware of potential threats.
I'm usually alert anyways, but I think...
And then the question also is, I mean, I guess he is an ex-boyfriend. How soon or when did they actually break up? And how the hell did he know exactly where she lived? Unless, you know, I'm thinking they broke up in high school. She's a junior now, and he just has this bent-in rage out for her. But it sounds like to me that she probably recently broke this off. They've known each other since middle school, they said, and they dated in high school, and maybe they even stayed together throughout high school. And obviously, like I said, when these women go to college, you just can't. You can't, especially if you're not on campus. Now, if you two go to the same college, you're on the same campus. But when it comes to these long distance relationships, you just can't bet on her to you know, just want to hold it down and stay faithful. I'm not saying that she wasn't faithful, but what I'm saying is a lot of these guys, you're investing everything into this woman when she's going on and doing things that is outpacing you. Let's just keep it a buck. If you want to compete with these women in the dating realm, if you will, and be a viable option where they aren't going to replace you, you got to get your ass up and compete. And a lot of brothers think that, oh yeah, the street life is going to hold me down and all this kind of stuff. And then the women get on campus and they meet brothers who are actually doing something really dynamic, participating in these groups and these you know, leading organizations and getting involved in student body. And now these guys become the alphas in their mind. The street guy he's not the alpha anymore in her mind, right? The fraternity guys, the Qs, the you know, the alphas, the kappas, these guys become the you know, what she views as attractive now. The street guy, you're not doing anymore because she sees you as a dead end. Once she starts to mature and once she starts to get older, she sees the thug max alpha simp as a dead end, and then she wants to cut ties. But when it comes to dating these thug max alpha simps, you got to take the good in with the bad. It might be fast money coming in. It might be trap money coming in. You might have all the women wanting your man and all this kind of stuff. And then once you want to end it with him, he crashes out on you. These super gremlins are demon time.
I think that would make my senses heighten.
Now, in just the last hour, I've seen about 5 KSU police cars drive out of the apartment complex just behind me. That is where Alasia Franklin lived. And I should also mention that the campus is also very open. In addition to those police cars, I've also seen a number of other cars of people just generally driving through. So kind of underscoring what the students on campus have been telling me all day. Back to you.
All right, Karis, thank you so much. And right now on our website, you
Boom. So we got a few more details to iron out, and then we're going to close this thing out. Guys, I appreciate you staying with me through this stream. Hey, make sure you go ahead and like, comment, and share the video. YouTube is doing everything in their power to suppress my motion. However, I will give credit where credit is due. X is being really favorable to my content. Even though they banned my other X account on Reclaim, which was not controversial at all, but you know, I got that. I guess that account got mass reported and they still got it banned. But guys, make sure you hit the super trap, hit the PayPal, hit the Cash App. You know, support the channel, support this message, share the video, subscribe to the Patreon. We're gonna continue the Evil African Kings series on the Patreon, so make sure you guys go there. I just need to do a little bit more research. I think we've done 2 or 3 countries so far. We're going to do all 54 countries in Africa. So let's keep going. Let's keep it moving, and appreciate everybody for all your support.
the first time from the mother of a Kennesaw State University student shot and killed on campus Saturday. It is a tragic story that has rocked the campus of KSU.
It's a heartbreaking story, and tonight, Alasia Franklin's mother is now fighting through her grief, hoping parents use her daughter's story as a wake-up call. 11 Alive's Teresa Bowles spoke with her today.
Alinda Fortner just can't find the words.
I can't tell you what I felt. There aren't any words to describe. There's not enough emotions listed.
To really paint the picture of what it's like to find out that her daughter, 21-year-old Alasia Franklin, was shot and killed on Kennesaw State University's campus.
I got the first initial phone call from the suspect's mother.
KSU police.
Now that's cold. The mom of her Thug Max Alpha Simp boyfriend calls the mother of the woman that he murdered and says, "Oh, my baby just did something horrible. Please call Alasia. Make sure she's okay. He left the house talking all this and that, and how he was gonna crash out on her, and how she wasn't nothing, she wasn't shit, and she went on that college campus to pop pussy and all this stuff. And I'm just afraid that he gonna go do something. Please check on your baby." Something to that effect. The mothers knew each other. And that leaves a more sour taste in the mouths of people in the community, people on campus, and the family, I'm sure. Now, my question is, Mama, how are y'all not doing background checks on these ninjas who y'all letting in y'all crib? It's not adding up. Let's keep going.
Say the suspect, Samuel Harris, allegedly shot Franklin after a dispute here in front of the Austin residence complex. Fortner says Harris had dated her daughter since high school. While she believes they broke up, Fortner didn't know Harris to be a violent person. That's why she can't fathom why he would want to hurt Franklin.
And here's the thing. A lot of times when these women break up with the men, they're still sleeping with the guy and he's still in the picture, but she's trying to move on and she's still using him, you know, as that sexual fix while she goes and ventures off and tries to date other men. And he probably didn't like that. He wanted to keep her to himself. And, you know, that's pretty much how these situations go in many cases. So it looks like maybe he was very involved with her even up until the day of her death. They tried to make it seem like, or maybe I read into it wrong, but they almost made it seem like, oh, well, this was a distant ex-boyfriend and they weren't really together. And it sounded more and more like they were recently together. They got in a fight, they broke up, and then he crashed out immediately, like right then and there. Like that's the timeline of the events.
We have to do better at parenting and teaching our young men how to treat a woman and how to deal with life when it's not going your way.
And that's the message she's trying to get out. Fortner says you can't always control an open campus, but parents can start early in teaching their children the right way to handle anger so deaths like Alasia's won't keep happening.
Wow.
There can be more structured security, possibly, but the protection that's needed for our Black women, it starts at home.
When I asked,
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It starts at home, but it all, everything that she said was valid. But let's keep it a buck. If he was raised in a single mother household, the women are not able to discipline these young men, so they can't really do much of they can raise the guy as well as they want until he starts to rebel, and then they have literally no power. She can't discipline him. She can't inflict physical pain or punishment on him. She can't make him go to timeout. She can't make him sit in the corner of his room. She can't make him do anything. So what is really needed to be addressed is the single mother epidemic, the strong and independent mentality. Oh, I can raise a boy by myself. I can raise a child by myself. And I don't need no man mentality, because maybe if there was a competent, and keyword on competent, man in the household, he could have taught this super gremlin to regulate his emotions, channel into something more productive.
Fortner, what justice looks like to her, she told me even if Harris is found guilty and given the maximum sentence, it wouldn't be enough for what's been done to her daughter. In Kennesaw, Teresa Bowles, 11 Alive News.
And you can understand that while KSU police and the GBI are still investigating, the campus is also offering counseling services this week for the students from 8 in the morning until 5 in the afternoon at Kennesaw Hall.
All right, so we're going to get the final take. We're going to get the final take from Mama. It looks like she's got more to say. So let's listen up. This is coming from WSB TV, Channel 2 Action News.
New developments in a homicide on the campus of Kennesaw State University. The mother of the victim says there's no justification for her daughter's murder. Alasia Franklin's ex-boyfriend is accused of shooting and killing her over the weekend. Channel 2 Cobb County Bureau Chief Michelle Newell is live now. And Michelle, her mother told you she knows the suspect.
That's right. That's because she tells me that man who is now in jail charged with murder and facing 2 felonies is her daughter's ex-boyfriend. At least that's what she thought. Now, he lives in Cairo, Georgia. That's more than 200 miles away from here. And at last check, she said he didn't have a car. Right behind me, I want to show
Damn.
you what was a crime scene has now become this memorial for...
So he didn't even have a whip, and he pulled up on her and crashed out. Crazy.
Alasia Franklin. You can see balloons and pictures of her, even cards people are leaving behind.
When I talked to her Thursday, she didn't mention any plans or hanging out or having, any kind of company for the upcoming weekend.
2 days after Alinda Fortner spoke to her daughter over the phone,
We're still in shock, still in disbelief.
Alasia Franklin was shot and killed at Kennesaw State University. The suspect, Samuel Harris, Franklin's ex-boyfriend, a man Fortner says her daughter has known since middle school.
I'm actually shocked that he was even there. I did not approve after, their last breakup. I did suggest, maybe you guys need to take a break.
Okay, so she approved up until their last breakup. That's really what that's telling me here. And she didn't see any signs beforehand, but they already revealed that he had a lengthy criminal history. So was she just overlooking the crimes that he was committing? Or, it's just like, what really makes you sisters say, hey, this guy is bad news? What is the breaking point? What is the standard? At which point are you willing to say, yeah, maybe I shouldn't be dealing with this guy? That's the question.
Fortner says the last breakup was heated, but she didn't suspect violence.
My mind is racing, just trying to put pieces of the puzzle together.
Franklin was a Dean's List student, a sister, a friend, a classmate.
She was an amazing person.
Still trying to question as to why such a beautiful, bright queen in spirit had to lose her life.
Now a call to action on campus.
We started a petition on campus, me and my organization, the NAACP at KSU, basically to advocate for domestic violence, more awareness, more education, more resources for students on campus.
All women deserve to be protected. The protection that's
So is the NAACP going to talk about the domestic violence in the community specifically, or how are they going to address that? You know, how are they going to hone in on that and really focus on that? Because that needs to be looked at in and of itself, not just, oh, domestic violence on campus in general. No, it needs to be domestic violence on campus amongst Black couples. That's what we need to talk about first. And hopefully that's their intention. But a lot of times, like I said, mismanagement of funds, these organizations just aren't really rooted in actually getting things done. They're just there for the clout, the media, the press, the look, the Instagram posts, and, you know, the the occasional black fist stretched out in the photo op of a riot.
needed or that's required, it starts at home. It starts in early childhood.
And back out here live, you can really get a sense for how many people really loved Alasia Franklin. As for Harris, he is in the Cobb County Jail. A judge denied bond. As we told you, he's facing that murder charge and 2 other felonies. Of course, we'll keep you updated on the latest in that case. Live from Cobb County, Kennesaw, Michelle Newell, Channel 2 Action News.
The strength of her mother, Michelle, thanks. Now more details on how KSU handles security threats. This was the second time this year the university sent an alert for an armed intruder. KSU sends alerts on social media, but the school also has an app that has information. Students can also use that app to report crimes on campus.
All right, guys. So that is it for the story of the murder of Alasia Franklin by Super Gremlin Samuel Harris. Yeah, man, that one is pretty sad. But the vetting process obviously needs to be more extenuous. A lot of these sisters are just dealing with the first thug max alpha simp they encounter. And usually that ends in a deadly situation. So for all those who joined the stream, I appreciate you guys. Make sure you hit the PayPal, hit the Cash App, hit the Super Trap, hit the Patreon. Go to the merch store, cop the merch. We got Trump is a Blood t-shirts, as you guys already know. Support the channel. I'm being severely shadow banned and censored, but that's okay. I'm still here for you guys, so I'm going to keep pushing. I'm going to keep fighting the social media oligarchs until they tell me I can't internet no more. So, yeah, appreciate everybody for joining the stream. Make sure you guys stay safe. And remember, these super gremlins are on demon time. What's good, Shadow Realm? It's your boy Jinquavius Jackson, and y'all already know I'm demonetized and shadow banned in this bitch. So if you want to contribute, go to the Cash App, the PayPal, the GoFundMe, or join the Patreon. Also, don't forget to visit the merch store for all your favorite BGZM News 17 gear, including our exclusive Trump is a Blood t-shirt. Go fast before they sell out. They are already flying off the shelves, no cap. And remember, these super gremlins are on demon time.
I'm here on the corner of MLK and Medgar Evers, and it's a very tranquil scene compared to just a couple hours ago where a drive-by shooting just took place. Excuse me, I'm getting live updates as we speak. I've just been updated to the amount of casualties from this drive-by shooting, and I'm getting reports that 2 people were actually declared deceased and 27 others were shot and injured, but are in stable condition. And although we must pray for the families of the fallen, we must also praise God for the aim of the super gremlin. If you want to know more about the victims of this crime, make sure you add BGZM News 17 on Patreon at www.patreon.com/blackgenzmindset. Also, don't forget to like the video, share the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and comment on the video to continue the discussion on how we can find solutions to all this gun violence in the streets. For more hard-hitting news coverage from the community, by the community, I'm Jenquavius Jackson, here live, reporting from Atlanta, Georgia, BGZM News 17.
And cut.
All right, dogs. Let's get the out of here before these niggas come back.
Whoa. Yo!
Whoa.
Ain't that nigga J?
Nah, that ain't me. That ain't me.
He just went live
That
with
ain't
that
me.
funky ass suit on.
That's that nigga. That's not me.
Hey, get that nigga.
Jenquavius Jackson, here live, reporting from Atlanta, Georgia. Pray for me.
Gang violence and other kind of violence. So it is what it is.